the favorite Trackstarz.
For all the artists that we're supporting right here on our radio show, what we're hoping to do with our radio show is to push people who make music for God, right?
Right.
What are they going to end up doing, though? Because we have experience working with an artist that we pushed for a long, long time that ended up doing secular music.
Yeah.
Even if they don't go that far. We may have another one on our hands, but even if they don't go that far, what if they just get to the point where they start doing music for themselves and not they may still call it for God, but they don't necessarily they're not motivated
pushing
by God.
Their own agenda.
Okay, we gotta say, how do you know it's not for, like, how do you know it's not for? How can you tell?
Well, I think pride is a big indicator. Pride doesn't mean that a person doesn't intend to be doing what they're doing for Christ, but it's the easiest way to lead you away from doing it for Christ. Because once you start getting a little bit of success, you'll love the claps, you'll love the cheering, you'll love the money that comes in, and you'll be like, yo, I need this in my life. Regardless if God wants me to stop or not,
right.
I got to have this.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So what's going to prevent these artists that we love, that we are pushing, the Lecrae's, the Andy Maneos, the, you know what I'm saying? The Mouthpieces, all of these people, like what's going to keep these people humble and not, because honestly, rapping is a hard thing to be humble about because it's kind of based off of, yo, I'm hot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a way. So how do you keep from, because I see that pictures Lecrae posts, and Triple E just posted some pictures from a concert they just did, and they're like, yo, Swoop is killing it tonight, or Andy Neal's killing it tonight. You see them in front of thousands of fans with their hands up cheering. Mm-hmm. How do you not let that get to your head?
That's why it's been on my heart for so long, man, because I'm really afraid for this movement, man, because I was like, you know, what happens when we remove God from God's intent, like his message, his whole drive for us? And it's a scary thing when, if God tells you to lay it down, God tells you to hang up the microphone, and you don't do it. You know what I mean? And I know this from firsthand experience because I was working at a secular radio station where God clearly told me, leave, go, all right? And I didn't do it. I could hear that. I'm talking about God's voice was so clear, you need to get out of there. You need to get out of there. And I just didn't go. And what ended up happening was that I suffered a humiliating let go, and it caused me to lose everything. I had to rebuild from everything, losing my house, almost my car, credit score shot to the ground. I mean, everything, because I did not move when God told me to.
Wow.
And that's what I think could happen. And I'm so afraid for these artists because it seems like they could get into it. And this is nobody that I have in mind, you know, that we play on our show or that we support, because I really feel like their heart's intent. Like, I saw an interview with Andy Maneo, and he was like, look, I know y'all are asking me about music, y'all are asking me about this, but one of the things I'm pushing today is my relationship with Christ. He was like, if I don't have that, if I don't have that time, if I don't have that devotion, he's like, I can't just go in the studio and write a song and think I just worship God because I wrote a song that was about him. He's like, no, I got to get in my word, I got to get in my space and really work on my relationship. And so I'm afraid for artists that might get out there and forget what their intent was, which is to push the gospel, you know, preach the gospel, and start playing for keeps. Like, now they just want to retain fans. Now we got so many, now we just want to retain them. And I'm seeing a certain group that I feel is going in that direction. And to me, it seems like...
Can't say that. Who's that?
It's Mary.
Dang.
You think so?
I feel that. I feel that. Because honestly, if...
I know so many people close to Mary now.
That's true.
I just have...
That's true.
I just feel like...
You might lose some fans on that statement.
That's fine. That's fine. But I just feel like that reality show, man, it goes back to that. Like, if they don't give you a check for that, would you do it? Think about that. But if they're not giving them a check for that, would they really do that?
Now, okay, let's be real. Could we put Kirk in there? One reason I'm saying that is because
Sunday's best.
He's an executive producer of Sunday's Best.
But
Mary's an executive producer of Sunday's Best.
But Kirk Franklin doesn't have a reality show.
That's a reality show.
But it's not putting his life out there on display like it is with Mary.
So is it that they are displaying their lives like that, or what you're seeing in their lives you don't like?
No, I'm not saying that they are that, because I'm not going to judge them. I definitely don't know their character. I'm not going to judge them. I'm just saying when you look at the fruit of a reality show, when you look at some of the things they've said in their interviews, I'm just wondering, are they playing for keeps? Will they do a concert? Will they do a sold out? Will they do a concert that's not sold out strictly for Christians? Like, will they go and just say, hey, you know what? We found this venue in New York where a lot of kids are on drugs, a lot of kids are doing XYZ. Will those type of artists move into that type of venue and still preach the gospel? Like, push it.
They definitely would do that.
I don't get that from Mary though. Like,
no. I'm not talking about Mary specifically. I'm not talking about them specifically.
I think you did.
No, not with this scenario. Not with this scenario.
Yeah.
With this scenario, I'm just saying, which do you think we have artists that are willing to do that once they've seen the money, once they've seen the glit and the glamour?
I think we're worried about two different things. I'm worried that they will want to go to people who aren't Christians so that they could get more fame and money.
Okay, that's kind of what playing for keeps is on the flip side. So yeah, that was part of our conversation. That was part of our conversation this week. Yeah. We had that.
Yeah, my thing is, if your drive to be, because this is the caveat. Everybody's like, man, I just want to be popular. I want people to love my music and buy it up so that I can tell them about Jesus.
Yeah.
So your quest is to always be more and more popular so you could tell more and more people about Jesus. But then I wonder if along the way you forget why you want to be more and more popular.
Yeah.
You really want to be more and more popular because it feels good.
Yeah.
And you forget, like, oh yeah, Jesus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's scary for me. I mean, I think about it, and it's something that I have to check myself at too, because we had a conversation earlier this week about taking some music of ours up to a secular radio station, and I was like, I really don't want to do that.
He shot it down.
And I really
he shot it down.
And I didn't want to do it because I didn't feel like that was something that we needed.
Because you are upset with them.
I'm not upset with them. I'm upset with. I'm more obsessed with making it through the channels that we already have.
Yo, let's just put all the cards on the table right now. How did you feel? I ain't gonna say nothing.
No, go ahead. Come on.
I mean, what do you think about? I know we talked about this, and I don't know if you want to share, but what do you think about the Lecrae situation with the church clothes stuff?
You know what? I have to apologize to Lecrae in my spirit because he's the reason why I brought this topic to light. No. Because what I realized what church clothes is doing is he's going after the lost, which is exactly what I'm fighting for. That I hope the artists don't get accustomed to doing, playing for keeps.
Yeah, but the problem is you don't want to go to the same radio station that he went to do his mixtape.
Well, that's because we've already been there and we've had experiences, and it's just a overlapping situation that I don't really want to go through again. Now, I did say we could take it to the bigger secular station in the city, and I'd be fine with that.
All right, here's my question, Miles Austin.
What's going on?
What's going to keep you from changing your focus from this being about God? Because you know how it is, man. Girls swoon in when you start singing on stage. You know what I'm saying? Even though you're singing about Jesus, they like, oh, he could sing and rap. Oh my goodness!
No. Don't go, Miles Austin.
How do you keep that from getting to your head, man?
Just a side note before you answer, I let my wife hear the FMG mixtape, and she was like, "Is that Austin doing the rapping and the singing?" I was like, "Hey."
No, but seriously, I mean, because people like, this is what, honestly, before you say anything, this is what I'm a little bit worried about, because I know, like, I love everything that's going on with Lecrae and Reach and everything, but I'm afraid that some of the fans are starting to forget why they're coming to the concert. Like, are you coming to hear about Jesus, or are you like, you know what I mean? Lecrae.
Nonchalant shows that they idolize these cats,
and that's why I'm a little bit worried about that, because how do you really become a fan of a Christian artist without it being wrong?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, how do you do that and keep that balance of, I'm not here for them necessarily, I'm here for Jesus.
I think at the end of the day, we all want to be entertained. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, regardless if it's positive entertainment or if it's negative entertainment.
What you think, Austin?
I think the biggest thing, man, for me, even with, you know, I had to learn it early, definitely with being able with having the ability to sing and rap. I think, like, even we were talking about that earlier about that young girl at the show we did.
Yeah.
You know, I jumped out in the crowd and she fell out. I'm like, okay,
that's
you
not
know
Jesus.
what I'm saying? You gotta understand, like,
Yo, real
okay,
talk.
Slaying them in the spirit.
Yo, real talk. Sincere's wife was like, "Don't they know this is a Christian?"
Yeah, like, and you get into those places where, you know, you're speaking about God and you're you know, trying to extend the gospel, but yet you still have people in the crowd who aren't saved. So you really have to. I think the thing about Andy Mineo, like, I like the way he started out that interview with saying, look, I need to make sure my relationship with Christ is the best it can be. I need to put that time aside for my devotionals and everything. That's big, because if you don't have that relationship,
caveat, because girls like that too. So you know what I'm saying?
That is true. I think it's personal. Like, if you don't have a personal relationship with Christ before you jump on stage and try to be in front of people, when you just like you were talking about with Mary with that reality show, you're putting the microscope on your life. Even it sparked that whole that YouTube video about the guy talking about the strip thing they were talking about.
Yeah.
And I think you really have to have a deep relationship with Christ before you try to jump on stage and try to entertain people, when you're really just preaching the gospel. When you lose it and you start saying it's entertainment. When I started doing this, even Jeremiah was telling me, he was like, look, I don't call it performing, I don't call it entertainment, I call it worshiping, praising, and then ministering to these people.